Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Live from Park City, Utah. Last year in English from Park City, Utah. Tomorrow morning, early morning, I'm going to give another shir on Daf Tes Be'ezer Hashem in Hebrew. The plan for today's shir, it seems like we're going to do a lot of sponsors. I have to say hello to a bunch of people. We have a lot of geschmacky guests here. So I want to introduce, first I'm going to turn the camera. Whoever, you want to be on camera? Do you mind?
I don't care.
You don't care. What's your name?
Johnny Istrom.
From?
Valley Village, California.
Ooh, another Californian. Okay.
I was in your house actually for a barbecue when I was on Camp Robbie.
Hold on a second. That's Mayor speaking, the Balabas. My son-in-law lives here in Utah, does Kirov. And we have Rabbi Zubnik. It's already his second day. Second day. We're going strong.
Ian this morning.
Ending this morning. So 1 minute. What's going on here with my camera? I don't know what I'm looking at. This is you. Oh, here. Now your name. What's your name? You're the guy from Los Angeles, also Los Angeles, doing the daf with us more than necessary to go on the cruise. In other words, he's from Nida before Brachas with MDY from, it's unbelievable. I mean, I met you a few times, but not enough. So Shalom Aleichem. Now we have you, Igor, no, you know. And then in the orange shirt, we have Captain Nathan Zucker, Delta Airlines. Maybe you should play. Are you able to play it here? Or give it to me at least. I'll play it. Or play it loud. Here, I'm going to put the... Here, hold this. Here, hold it. Hold it together. Push play. This is true, voice I.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, welcome aboard Delta Flight 2339, service to LaGuardia. My name is Captain Nathan Zucker. I'll be flying you up to LaGuardia this afternoon. I'll be assisted on front by my first officer, Scott Bell. Flight time today is 2 hours and 18 minutes, wheels up to wheels down, with a short taxi on the front and the back end. We just came in from LaGuardia. It was a pretty smooth flight, so I will try to get that seatbelt sign off as quickly as I can and keep it off for as long as I can. But if that seatbelt sign is on, or if you're just in your seat, please keep your seatbelt securely fastened, as you never know when we'll encounter unexpected rough air. We've got 4 of Delta's very best flight attendants on board today. We've got Angela and Thomas up front, Jillian and Barbara in the back. They're there primarily for your safety, but if there's something they can do to make this trip a little more pleasant for you, please don't hesitate to ask. If you're doing Daf Yomi, today's Daf is Zvachim Daf Kuf Bet, Hadron Halan Masachet Zvachim. Thank you so much for choosing Delta. Welcome aboard, sit back, and enjoy the flight.
Wow. Talk about it. And you said you got a guy to join the daf, right? That's what you said. You got to try. Hey, everybody, let's see if the camera will make it all the way. No, it doesn't make it all the way there. So, I'll go like this, maybe. Are you on? Oh, what's you guys' name?
Kiva Goldschmidt, Daron Goldschmidt, Ephraim Goldschmidt.
Let's see the father, because the flower's in the way. Okay. Shkoyach, guys, thank you very much for coming. And now, once I have that, let's see if they'll come back to me. All right. The breakfast is sponsored by Shimon Lefkowitz and family. This upgraded breakfast is in honor of the great day of Rosh Chodesh and Rebbe Eli's continued Einaniyas b'makom hashirus, the klal of Einaniyas b'makom hashirus. Yishkoyach Reb Shimon Lefkowitz. I missed you at the Shabbaton. Oh, I had this interview with Yaakov Langer on Living L'chaim a few days ago. And he said, one of his comments was, he says, if there's 1,000 likes on this comment, I will join the daf with Rebelli. And there's 1,000 comments. Here you go. There's what? 1,000 likes on the comment. So you got 1,000 likes. So now he has to do. I'm calling him out. Yaakov Langer, you better be doing the daf. I don't know what he meant. I hope he didn't just mean like one day. Yeah. Here we go. Dear Rebelli. So. I don't really want to go into it that much. There's a bunch of, since I started till today, this week was probably the most in terms of hate mail and stuff like that. I get it once in a while, but I kind of earned it this week. I did a video with me snowboarding and I had a Gemara in my hand, so people didn't like that. And we had a rap video for the Zvachim, and a bunch of people took offense to that. They don't listen to rap. And the Bekitzer, it was Givaldic. So I got a bunch of people writing me love mail, like, you're such a great guy, we love you, don't let it bother you. I told this story to others, do that, but I want to share with you the comment today about the hate regarding rapping and snowboarding. It's my opinion that it's not bad, rather divine and inspired. Let's explain. Before I started learning with MDY, the last time I learned an actual daf was when I was in high school. Even my year in Israel, I never took to it. I was always in sheer daydreaming and draw images of Simpson characters in the columns. The first day doing MDY, thanks to the pressures of my friends who already were involved, I saw in one day of your sheer an AI video of Homer Simpson performing Avodah Zarah. I immediately bonded with you and your team at MDY and started to truly love to learn again. I made my first sim ever on Avodah Zarah. I made it with my family on my mother's 80th birthday on Shabbos. I felt pride in learning. My wife is proud of me and I feel so close to Hashem through it. So therefore, if there's a kosher way to combine rap, snowboarding, pop culture that can bring others to the Torah, then in my opinion it's kodesh and should be commended, not knocked down. Okay, that's his opinion. There's plenty of people that argue with him. So to those, where are you guys from? Where do you live? Psaik. You know I went to Psaik for 2 years. I learned by Rameir Stern, in the old building and in the new building. It was in 87-ish, I think. So those of you who look for fights and complain, look at the big picture. Torah is universal, and rebellion, you're universal. You touch, connect to all Yidden and all over. Could you get me into Rameir? I got to get into them. Yeah, you do? I'm going to be flying to New York tomorrow. Maybe if I could get in, I'll love to see him. He's my Mesader Kedushin also. Don't ever change. Your commitment to teach is so inspirational from the bottom of my heart. And me, an invigorated neshama, we thank you, Shimon Pollack. Johnny Uzan, something like that. Dear Rebellion, this is Johnny Uzan. I work in Kirov in Houston, Texas with Olami. Yeah? Wow. I'm married with, you know everybody here. I'm married with 6 kids, Baruch Hashem. One of my kids, Liara Malka, has a very rare condition and is currently in the hospital for a specific illness. Please have her on your list for Shleima. Liara Malka Bas. This guy, you know him? If I can read from here, sorry. Just wanted to know that I'm a newcomer. Well, I got to turn around because I can't read. To your class, I just started with Menachos and I'm loving the vibe, the consistency of the daf, especially the Yomi. Been keeping up in the hospital. Just wanted to say thank you for all you do. May Hashem continue to give you the strength for this incredible project, Johnny Uzan. So your daughter should have a full shleima, and you should be stark. Because Baruch should give you koiches to go through this and be stark with learning. Finish shots together. Dear Belly, you know what? I'm just going to skip all these emails for now. There's a lot of good ones. Moshe Lachman, another one, Shaya Eisner. The cloud needs people like you to demonstrate a life could be so enjoyable and normal at the same time. Keep doing what you're doing. Oh, this is a video my son took, the world's shortest video. It's exactly 1 second. I timed it. He was embarrassed. My son is very shy. It happened right now in Newark. These people are learning the daf with his father, and I guess I said, well, what's the big deal? Take a video. If they look at you, the guy's like giving him a little bit of a look over there. Here, let me show it again. It's a full second. You know? Look at those eyes. So just tell him, you're my son. And then the guy would like, okay. What happened here? Oh, we're trying to get into the dafyomi crowd. You know about that crowd? Yeah, you're in it. So I did a big interview with Makori Shon, and he actually flew, the guy that interviewed me, his name is Ariel Shinabel, and he flew into America for 2 days just to be at the Shabbaton, and he wrote a beautiful article. Bezrat Hashem. All right, here we go. The official edition MDY Shas. I have this thing right here, the Shas. We just started. We did Harius and we did Menachos. It's a brand new Pirush explanation. Basically, just explain to you, because if you knew, it doesn't have notes. The whole thing is just crystal clear pshat, all in one. And on this side, it has the Izvahadar with Nikudis on the. So if you're doing Gemara, it's easier to read the Gemara. And in the back, it has some MDY special charts like this. So we'll be using this chart a bunch today of the Beis Hamikdash. It's in here. Different charts, Menachos, and calendar, and different the 60 different satellite locations we have, etc., etc. But what's interesting, the reason why I'm holding it today is because today's Daf Ches, was sponsored by our unbelievable Chaver, Mark Ashkenazi, who's online every single day, twice a day, for the Hebrew Shir and the English Shir. Today, he actually, when he's doing the Hebrew Shir, he just flew into Newark and he's driving a car and he's going like this. I see the highway in the back and we had a technical difficulty and he's like going like this and trying to get YouTube on it. All right. So, anyways, Yishkoach Mark and Yishkoach for today's daf. And in Tzchusi, your father, actually, the first time ever, I learned from this Gemara. Why not? I wanted to see if the pshat is good, because I don't have anything to do with the editing, and maybe to give a few aras, etc. So, anyways, the official edition of MDY Shas, Masechta, by the Iranian Levi families, Perek, Shani Moti Belskian family, Daf, Mark Ashkenazi, Lili Nishmas, Avi Moiri, Reb Chaim Ben, Elazar, Olav Hashem. Masechta sponsor David Salomon, dedicating memory of Avi Moiri, Reb Shmuel Baruch Ben Reb Chaim Tzvi Doi, Zechron Livracha. David Salomon is holding it ready brought 62 people to the Daf, just for this Masechta, and he has a whole group, a retention group. The Masechta sponsor Joel Gedalius, Lili Nishmas, my father Jack Gedalius, Anonymous, Hatzach Baruch Begashmis. Somebody timed this. I want to see how long it takes. 9:17. Hatzach Baruch Begashmis. The Palachik Family Foundation. Zech Nishmas Harav Agoyer Shlomo Palachik, the Metchitzer Eloi Atam Velozhin Reb Chaim Briskin, one of the first Rosh Yeshiva in America. Masechta sponsored Refuah Shleimo Moshe Ben Nizah, Anonymous, for a complete Refuah Shleimo and a Arichas Yomim to Leiba Bas Esther. Yisrael Malki, we are so proud of you, Yaakov Mordechai. Keep steiging. Send the Gross and family, Canvey Island, UK, in honor of Rebel, you changed my meaning of life. Pliny Almighty, Yossi Mark and Benny, and all the Oiskim B'tzarchi MDY, Kishbochi Shalom Scharam. Monthly sponsors: Ari Simon, Refuah Shleimo, Avi Moyer, Baruch Ben Miriam, Jamie Azulai, Refuah Shleimo, Esther Bas Luna, Esther Walkenstein. I got your email, Jamie Azulai. I don't know if I can read all these emails today. Mazel Tov to my husband. It was a beautiful email. Mazel Tov to my husband, Kalman Nathaniel Walkenstein, on his 40th birthday. Anonymous, Bracha B'lidai, Baruch Tzvinisim Ben Shoshana Lev, Yehuda B'Yom Ben Chava. Anonymous, Refuah Shleimo, Naftali Hezben Henya Leah, a hidden tzaddik in our generation. Anonymous, in memory of Mazel Bat Leah, Besanada and Hiskia. Anonymous, the schus of verdict that is good and open and revealed way for Yos Mordechai Ben Bati Leah. You listen, Yehuda Lewis, as a schus for everyone in need of shidduch. Anonymous, for the merit of Mechol Ben Yisrael Yosef, success and blessing in all areas of life. Let me do the other one again. You listen, Yehuda Lewis, as a schus for everyone in need of a shidduch. Monthly sponsors: Prince and Alan Gross, the Yarsis of our fathers, Shlomo Zalman Ben Yitzchak Isaac Zechron Bracha, Yon Isaac Ben Tzvi Hirsch HaKayin Zechron Bracha, for Shleim Ben Yonatan Ben Besher Bracha. Thought I was just joking about these sponsorships? It's only 1.5 minutes, okay? Yaakov Slatus, 31st yard side of my grandfather, Yitzchak Victor Ben Bela Irving Rubin, Mordechai Zapazik and Zech Nishmas, my Rosh Shiva, Rav Chaim Epstein. It just seems like this happened 2 months ago, because every time this, I don't know. Rav Chaim Epstein or Rav Chaim Leib Ben Rav Yosef David Alevi, Zech Tzag Levrach, the Yeshiva Zichron Melech, his neshama have an aliyah. I used to daven there almost every Friday night when I lived in Kensington. Dr. Mark Bergson, who married my father, Jerry Bergson, on his first yard site. Anonymous, Lil Nishma Zev Daiv Ben Eliezer, Miriam Dambi, in honor of Meir Yisrael Dambi on the occasion of his 50th birthday. Love Ima, I love it. When a mother, a wife, knows what's important to her son. Meir Dambi is a big real estate agent. He does a lot of Israel homes. He comes to America a lot. He's a famous guy. Yoni Weiss, Lil Nishmas Shlomo Elimelech Ben Menachem, Lil Nishmas Toiva Bas Yisrael. Did I say Bas? Bas Yisrael. Anonymous, for the matter of Refuah Shleimo from Malko Bas Chayome, Peres Chaim Levin, Lil Nishmas Ruvain Ben Avram Alevi Levin by his grandson. Anonymous, in memory of Rabbi Yehuda Kellemer, Rabbi Yehuda Ben Doiv Zechitzag Levracha. Mark Ashkenazi, Mazel Tov to my dear brother Reb David and his chavrusa on being Messiah Shas for the second time today. And Mark, it happens to be that you donated today's daf, Lil Nishmas, your father. Interesting coincidence. I don't know if it was a coincidence or you did it on purpose. MDY Art. Also, my sons, who basically only eat pizza, they were flying from Park City to Israel. So they took a flight from here this morning. They got to Newark, and they're starving. They don't eat anything. They won't eat steak. They won't eat hot dogs. So I told Mark, we have to find somebody maybe that... He says, yeah, I have a flight from Muncie to Newark. So basically, he's making this up. Basically, he brought them a pie pizza, I think. I don't even know if they got it or not, but that was the plan. Anyway, Art, Yoshi Weiss, in honor of Moti Belsky for continued atzlacha and great English AI videos. Month. Yosef Chai sorry for Parnas Berevach, Refuah Shleimo Yonatan Edom B'Shav Bracha, Refuah Shleimo Mordechai Ben Esther, Refuah Ayelet Daniel Zev Ben Ayelet Esther. Whew. What was that? Oh wow, it's like 4 minutes. Unbelievable. Okay, that was a long one. Usually not that bad. Rabbi Isai, we're holding all the way on the bottom of Zayin Amud Beis. 2 lines from the bottom. Got it? One of the examples is on Yom Kippur, the Kohen takes the blood of a chatas and he sprinkles it 7 times on the floor, all different procedure, a little bit on the mizbech, a little bit here. And we say, on Yom Kippur, we say, achas, that's the sprinkling of the blood. Can he receive that blood of the chatas in 2 different vessels? So Rebbe Lazar is of the opinion that if he receives, let's say, 4 drops worth in one vessel and 3 in the other, no good. Says the Gemara, Umi Omar Rebbe Lazar Hachi, did he really say so? Va'itmar chaviti kain gadol. It's amazing, it's beautiful. First of all, very easy daf, a flowing daf. A lot of geshmaki stuff. I love this stuff. It's all about, when Mashiach comes and the Kohen Gadol and the Beis Hamikdash and different things that we're not very familiar with. And one of them is, did you know that a Kohen Gadol brings a mincha twice a day? Every day, he has to bring a flowery gift to Hashem. And he has to bring the flour from his home, and he puts it in a vessel, and he sarain, and he divides it. Half in the morning, half in the evening. Vayitmar, chaviti kain gadol. This machvas, this minchas machvas, it's called. Rabbi Yochanan Omer ein kadosh l'chatzayin. You can't sanctify it. You can't make it kadosh half and half. You're going to be using half in the morning and half in the afternoon. So you think, okay, so I'll make half kaddish right now. What does it mean kaddish? When I bring a bag of flour, like I have sitting over there, I used the flour yesterday. Bring a bag of flour from your home. You bought it in Costco. It has no kedusha. But as soon as you put it, now I could say that I want to make a minchas machvas out of it. So then it will change into, it'll become kaddish lebedek habayis. But I want to elevate the kedusha. I want to make it really kaddish. So I put it into the vessel. I have a gold bowl. I pour it in. Whatever hits the gold bowl becomes kaddish. I need to pour the entire isarin into that vessel, and I cannot do half and half. That's what Rabbi Yochanan says. Lazar Omar, no, he argues. Look, I am going to put on the mizbeach a half. I almost forgot that we have a video here of it. I forgot in the Hebrew. Here we go. Minchas machvas. Our very talented AI guys, when they're not doing rap videos, they do things that are useful. They take from the ephod, they take an isaron, they pour it in there, which is good to remember. You see this 2 kalim over here. One is for the solids like flour, and the gold one is for liquids, for the oil. We're going to be talking about that later also. They did another video for that. So you see he has 2. One for the morning, one for the evening. This is a little different than rap, I guess, this music. Maybe it's also, I don't know. You never know today. That's in the morning. And that's in the evening. That's minchas machmas. So Rebbe Lazar says, not bad, no? Says Rebbe Lazar, since it's brought at 2 different times, you can make a kaddish at 2 different times. Daf ches amar aleph. V'misa, and if it's true that you Rebbe Lazar hold that you cannot collect the blood that you're going to be sprinkling on Yom Kippur on the floor or whatever in 2 different vessels, leilav midam. Why did you Rebbe Lazar say that it's okay to put all the flour in 2 different vessels? Let's learn from the blood that you cannot. If Rebbe Lazar holds that you cannot put blood in 2 different vessels, it has to be in 1 vessel, so you should learn from there the idea by flour as well. We should learn flour from blood. So that's interesting. We're going to have this concept 3 times on the daf, on this Amud even, and I believe it's only a concept in Kachim. There's certain things that are unique to the Seder Kachim, and this is one of them, that perhaps you don't learn one thing from the other thing. Because throughout the Torah you learn one thing from the other. Over here, no, maybe don't learn one from the other. But I'll prove to you that he does learn one thing from another. That is, so this is just a very rudimentary. That's the heichal, the red dots, and the blue dots is where you're supposed to do the kmitza. You're supposed to take the flour. The kohen goes like this, grabs 3 fingers worth, puts it in another vessel, etc. That's supposed to be done in the Hazara. What if he didn't do it in the Hazara? He went into a holier place called the heichal. So it's okay. Why? We're going to go back to this one. This is the shulchan, also from my very talented artist, Shlomo. Well, it's a combination. We have actually 3 people working on this. So on the shulchan, you have 12 breads, lechem apanim, and 2 spoonfuls of frankincense, of levina. The way it works is that when you take the levina, you take the 2 spoons and you put them on the mizbeach, then that allows the kohanim to eat the 12 breads. Before you put the levina on the mizbeach, you cannot eat the breads. The levina is a mater, it's a machshir. It allows you to eat the breads. So, the kmitza action is very similar to the bezichen. There's a similarity. The kmitza is what allows you to eat the rest of the bowl of flour by you taking the kmitza, putting it on the mizbeach. So to the bezichen. Where do you do bezichen? Where does this take? This whole video, where did it take place? Let's see. Where's this? Where's the shulchan? The shulchan is placed in the heichal. That's where the shulchan is. In the heichal we have the menorah, we have the shulchan, and we have the mizbeach haktoros. Anything else that I missed out? I don't know. So it's in the heichal. So you see that you're allowed to take bezichen from the heichal, so you can do a kmitz in the heichal. So what do you see? You see that Rebbe Lazar learns a mincha, the kmitza, from the lechem apanim. Says the Gemara, mincha memincha yalav. That's not fair. You're learning a kmitza from lechem apanim. But guess what? Lechem apanim is also a sort of mincha. It's a bread. It's a flourly. Is that a word? It comes from flour. So it's like a mincha. But mincha midam lo yalav. I don't want to learn mincha from blood. So just like blood you can't receive in 2 vessels, so too the chavitin you can't accept in 2 vessels, you can't learn it. Says Gemara, mincha memincha miyalef. Does Rebbe Lazar really learn mincha from a mincha? Vatanya ashalei perka nifras lachma. If before they removed the 2 bezichen, we don't have it, but here I just like the picture of the bezichen, and so I'm going to go to the end of this video if I can. It's not letting me. Okay. So again, you take the 2 spoons, you put it on the mizbeach. What happens if before you were able to put it on the mizbeach, somebody took a loaf of bread and broke it in half? Now, what happens typically when you break something in half, a loaf of bread? You're going to have, different crumbs fall to the floor. You're going to be missing part of the bread. That's a very big problem, because anytime you have missing from the actual mincha or from the lechem apanim, it causes a lot of problems. So here's the halacha. Actually, pirko nifras lachma. If before you were able to remove the 2 spoonfuls, there was already some of the bread missing, halechem pasol ve'ein makter elav bezichen. You have a major issue. You can't do anything with the bread. You can't eat the bread, and you can't even put the bezichen, the levina, on the mizbeach. However, mishapirka, once the kohanim removed, we saw yesterday, we had a video of 8 kohanim. Remember, 4 bring the new breads and the new bezichen, 4 remove the old. So when the kohanim remove the old, the bezichen, once they remove it, and then the kohen grabs a loaf of bread and cracks it in half, mishapirka nifras lachma. But if that happened afterwards, halechem pasol, so you can't eat from the bread because some of it is missing. However, once you remove the bezichen already, you can put it on the mizbeach. Comes Rebbe Lazar, he says, "Lo pirka mamish." Doesn't mean that you took the bezichen off the table. It just means that it's the time that you can remove the bezichen, which is the 6th hour of the day. At that point, even if you didn't take it off, it's as if you took it off. You know what's going on here? You don't have to physically take it off. You have to just be at the right time. when the clock strikes 6 hours into the day, which in Utah would be like 4 in the afternoon, sunrise here is almost at 8 o'clock. 6 hours later, no? Something like that. I don't know exactly, but I don't know if that's true. Maybe I just made that up. Does that make sense? 7:48. Exactly. No, and what's 6 hours? 6 hours from when? From Nate's? Maybe from Alois, maybe. You should check out in the app when Chatzos is. I doubt Chatzos is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That doesn't make sense. But okay, anyway. 6 hours into the day. Okay. I was just throwing this in. It hit me, so I'm going to say it, that when something is ripe, it's ready to go. So it's as if it happened already. And a lot of times people, it's on a tangent sort of, but a lot of times people have a goal. They say, okay, I want to achieve this. I want to lose a certain amount of weight, whatever it is. I want to finish Shas, and it doesn't happen. And most of the time, I think, I don't know if this is true, you can tell me if I'm wrong, I think most of the time the reason is because you don't want it enough. If somebody really wants something, he's willing to give up sleep and whatever it is over a certain thing, I think it will be successful 99% of the time. It's when you want it, but you don't really want it. If you really, really wanted it, you'll achieve your goals, Be'ezer Hashem. So, V'amai, says Gemara, if Rebbe Lazar learns one mincha from the other, so you basically can learn the regular mincha from the lechem hapanim, and vice versa. So let's consider this a mincha that was missing a little bit of any mincha that's missing some of the flour. That's it. You can't do anything with it. So here also, it's missing a little bit of the lechem hapanim. Some of the bread, right? Somebody took a loaf of bread, cracked it in half. We went to, just me and one guy from MDY, we went to a bakery in Eretz Yisrael. Everybody knows the name. I forgot the name now. It's like up north or something. We're going to go, the whole year, we're going to go one day because we're learning Menachos. And they showed us how they make lechem hapanim. It was very, very complicated. It's massive breads. He couldn't do it. It was like falling apart. He said he has a hard time. It's like, but imagine you just grabbing it. I could just see the whole thing falling. It's like this. It's like the weird shape, and to get the top to like not buckle in, it's a whole ASIC. So a guy grabs the loaf of bread and he breaks it in half. Seidel's, exactly. Seidel's Bakery. He breaks it in half. Anybody that is going to Eretz Yisrael, maybe should check it out. He shows you how to do a mincha, lechem hapanim, the whole thing. So he breaks the bread in half. We said, it's okay because if the bezichin, it's 6 hours in the day, the bezichin anyways have to go on the mizbeach. But time out. Part of the bread is missing. Part of the bread is missing. You can't bring bezichin. You can't do anything. Says Gemara, no. Halikash. If you want to compare, I want to show you that Rebbe Lazar holds that we cannot compare lechem hapanim to regular mincha. No. Mamai. So halikash. Mincha lebar breira kaimet dida. When you have a bowl of flour, nobody knows where the kmitza is. You didn't do the kmitza yet. V'ha bar breira kaimet dida. But by lechem hapanim, we know straight out what the kmitza is, so to speak. The 2 spoonfuls, they're sitting right in front of you. So it's different than a mincha, where you don't know what the kmitza is. And therefore, as long as the time came, it's 6 hours in, and I know exactly what the kmitza is, so I don't really have to put it on the mizbeach. And even though some of the bread goes missing, I could continue putting it on the mizbeach. Now, if some of the lechem hapanim is missing, after the bezichin were taken off the shulchan, we said it's okay, just continue bringing the bezichin onto mizbech. You can't eat the bread, but continue with the bezichin. As Gemara, why? There is one opinion that says that if you do the kmitza and you're bringing it towards the mizbech, and then some of the flour in the bowl went missing, they you don't put the kaimetz onto the mizbeach because some of the flour is missing. Says Gemara, so over here also by the lechem hapanim, how could you continue bringing the bezichin onto the mizbeach? Says Gemara, lav pluktaninu, it's a machlokes. He holds like the other opinion that if some of the flour goes missing, you could put the kmitz on the mizbeach. So too, if some of the lechem hapanim goes missing, I'll put the bezichin on the mizbeach. Gufa. Just interesting note here. This is the most gufas in Shas on one daf. Gufa just means, oh, we spoke about this before. Let's delve into it a little bit more. So somebody in the koil sent me that this is the number one place in Shas. And he said, oh yeah, there's another daf that has a few more, but this is like real sugyas, like a whole inyan. So gufa. We're going into the Chavita Kohen. I just think this stuff is fun. For me, it's a lot of fun. It happens to be, I think, Yuma was probably my favorite Masechta. Although I chazred Avodah Zarah a lot, so I like Avodah Zarah. Yuma, just because the whole idea of the Beis Hamikdash, the Kohen Gadol, this, and how it's going to be, it's just cool stuff. I enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it as well. Chavita Kohen Gadol. These Chavitim that we saw, the Kohen Gadol brings every day. We saw before the Machlekes, that's how we start off the share. Rabbi Yochanan holds that you have to put all the flour into one vessel and make it kaddish at one time. Rabbi Elazar argues, since anyway he's going to be makriv half and half, so you can make it kaddish half-half. Let's just go into the reasoning here of Rabbi Yochanan Makra, mincha machtzisa, because he learns it from a puzzle. The mincha, half of it. In other words, have a mincha. First, it should be a mincha, period. When you have the whole thing, then machatzisa, then you chop it in half. Meisvei, but I have a big problem. It says mufurish that you should not bring it half and half. We should bring a whole isarin, which is the measurement, and then cut it in half. Do you want this Gemara? You could also use this if you want. Here. It's there, why not? It doesn't, it just has a Oizvahadar Gemara on that side. If it would say Mincha Machtzis, I wouldn't know this. But since it says Mincha Machatzis, I do know. Why? Because if it would say Machtzis, maybe Chatzis, or maybe Shachis, or Makriv, Chatzis, or maybe Arvis, or Makriv. He should bring a half a bag of flour in the morning, half a bag of flour, and then go back home and bring another half. He should bring the whole thing together from his house and then cut it in half. So what's the question? The question is, how does Rabbi Elazar say that it could be mekadesh, he could sanctify half and then another half? It says mefurish over here, you have to bring the whole thing. That's how you do it. Says the Gemara, one word, lemitzvah. This that it says that you should bring the whole thing in one shot, it means it's the better way to do it. It's the more lechatchila way to do it. If you want to get the most out of the mitzvah, you bring the bag of flour and you mekadesh it in one shot. However, if you didn't do it like that, you did it half and half, you're also yaitza, like Rabbi Elazar. If you look at the pasuk, here's the pasuk. It says, I just remember there's a kid, his name is Zev Bash. He's 11 years old, and he came to the Shabbaton. We asked him to come because he sent a video. To me, it was very emotional. Everybody watched, it was very emotional. He says he loves the shir, this, and all of a sudden in the middle, he drops the bomb. He says, I'm dyslexic, and I'm not good at Gemara. I never did well in school, and your shir helps me. And he got up on Shabbos, and he spoke to everybody. It was beautiful. And he said, you have color-coded charts. And I didn't know what he was talking about. Then it hit me like after Shabbos. I think he's talking about this, that we have color, like in the psukim. So chak means, like we know, chukah. So it's chukah satar by paraduma, chukah. It's a rule. You don't ask questions, and there's no way around it. Anytime the Torah says chak, so it's a chukah, that's it. Over here it says chak olam. So therefore, and we just said, it says mincha machatzisa, you should bring the entire thing and then cut it in half. So how could you tell me, oh, it's in the first place, that's how you should do it. But if b'diavad, you went and you cut it in half, it's okay. It's not okay. It's chukah. You have to do it only one way. This pasuk, which is a chayk, means when you bring it from your house to the Beis Hamikdash, it should be whole. It should be one part, one piece. So this morning when I gave shir in Hebrew, I'm like, why? Who cares? You bring what does the Torah care how you bring the flour from your house, from your pantry? So the art scroll brings the Chazon Ish. I looked it up now, right before shir, and he says, the Chazon Ish says, what it means to, it's beautiful now. What he means to say is that you should sanctify b'kedushas damim. You should at least make it kaddish in one shot, the lower level of kedusha. Then, when you want to make it kaddish, like what's the word? Not kachi bedekabayis, kachi kaddish kadashim. Basically, you want to make it the highest level. That's not the right way to say it. I'm missing the word, but the highest level of kedusha, that you could already separate half and half. But when you're bringing it to begin with, it doesn't mean bringing it in the Uber to the Beis Hamikdash. It means when you're sanctifying, when you're making the first level of kedusha, it shall all be in one shot, and that's what the Torah is telling you. Don't break that up. The Rabbi Yochanan really say that when it comes to Minchas Chavitin, and that was the first line of the Gemara that we learned, that when the Kohen Gadol brings his Minchas Chavitim, he can't break it up into two. It has to be in one piece. It says, if, and this is referring to Rabbi Isai, very important, this is referring to a regular mincha, not a minchas chavitin, a regular mincha. A person wants to bring a minchas nadava, he wants to bring a gift to Hashem. So he brings a bag of flour to the Beis Hamikdash, and he brought a half a yisarin, and he had in mind, and he had intent, and this is also, Yiddishkeit is all in the mind. He had in mind to add. Rav Omar in a Kaddish, he didn't bring the full yisarin, he brought half, so it's not Kaddish. Let's remember this, Rav. Rav says it's not Kaddish. Rabbi Yochanan Amar Kaddish, it is good. If Rabbi Yochanan holds that the Kohen Gadol has to do everything in one shot, how come he doesn't learn the regular mincha from the Kohen Gadol? They have to do everything in one shot. How come over here, when it comes to a private person, you can bring it in two pieces? Once again, we're going to that Yisod that we saw all the way in the top of Chesam and Aleph, 2 lines from the top. This idea of I can't learn one thing from the other, which is puzzling because throughout the Torah you barely ever see this idea in Shas. Don't learn one thing from. What do you mean? Don't learn one thing from the other? That's the whole Gemara. We're learning one thing from the other. But anyway, in Kachim we don't learn one thing from the other. Anybody need water? It's kedai to hydrate. Yeah. Some people. Oh, here's Evi Bash. You see, this is what. Oh, this is in the Shabbaton. When I called him up, this is not when he spoke, but I called him up to the great kid. Anyway, and then it turns out that a Zaidi went to my shir in Chicago like 20 years ago when I gave Zaidi Bash, like his grandfather. And now I'm just thinking maybe even his great grandfather. I think there was a person by Zaidi Bash, like the great grandfather. I have to ask Rabbi Bash. I don't remember anymore. I'm getting old. Maybe, what are you asking me? Learn from Kohen Gadol that you cannot divide it, and by a regular mincha you also can't divide it. Maybe I don't learn a regular mincha from Chavitin. Check this out. Once again, this is a chart that we used before. We're going to use it again. Where do you shecht shlamim? Now shlamim is part of the category of kachim kalim, the lighter category. So lighter category, you could check it in the north and the south part of the Azara. In other words, in the entire blue square. What happens, he took it into the Heichel, reserved for special occasions, for the Ketores every day, for the Menorah every day, for the Lechem Apanim on Shabbos. He goes and brings it, bloody up the Heichel inside. Kosher or not kosher? Ksherim, it is kosher. And he uses logic. It says he should shecht it at the entrance to the Eichel. Whoa, this blue dotted line is not as kaddish as the red. What's all the way at the end of the red, Rabbi say? All the way at the end. Kaddish Kadashim. So it's like you go from the Azara, very holy, you go into the Eichel, holy, holy, and you go into the Kaddish Kadashim, the holy is the holy. So if so many people want to say that even if you shecht in Kodesh HaKadoshim, it's kosher, because like the Kavachomer. If it's kosher in the Azara, certainly in the Heichal. I'm learning one area from another area. If it's good in area blue, it's also good in area red. So that's learning one thing from another. You just told me you don't learn one from another. So You know why over here, when a person has a mind to bring another half a bag of flour from his house to add to his mincha, it's okay? Because he had a mind to do it. It's not that he's adding another. While he had the first half, he said, I'm going to have another half. So that's as if he had the whole thing. Daitalois of Shani. So it actually becomes Kaddish even before he added it. Just the thought alone is enough to make it okay. The Sanya Milayim, famous pasuk, right? Say, Shivim shekel b'shekel HaKodesh Neyeh Milayim. We all know the psukim, yeah? That the vessel of flour has to be completely full. I once heard a pshat. I have no idea who said it. But he said, how come this vessel that we fill the flour in, he did a whole calculation that it's worth about close to $10,000 in today's value. What about the flour inside the vessel? 50 cents. Yet the Torah says, Isara, and it's like very Milayim, full, it's a whole thing. He said, you know why? Because money is really just a way to get to the mitzvah. The whole thing is just to show you. Yeah, you have to spend $10,000, but at the end of the day, it's for what? For the mitzvah that's only $1. Akopanim, it says over here, Milayim, a Milayim el shleimim. It has to be whole. Now, if you look in the Gemara, there's parentheses, Koloimar, Shene Kodesh Atshiyeh Sarin Shalim. Anybody that learns Gemara knows that this is not Gemara language. This is like literally like, I don't even know if Rishon wrote this. And that's why there's so many of these parentheses all over Menachos, and the Shittim Kubetzis takes them all out. It just seems like, I don't know, I have to speak to people, it seems like somebody in one of the generations wrote his own little explanation on top of the text, and somehow somebody found it and put it into the text, and then they realized that it was not part of it. It's just not even, it's not Gemara language. You'll never see anywhere in Shas that says Koloimar, the word Koloimar. I don't think. You know what, I shouldn't say that. Then they're going to bring me 40 times that it says Koloimar. Do a search. Somebody do a search right now. Does it say in Shas Koloimar? Huh? I'll do a search right now. It's going to take a minute though. Oh no, I can't believe it. 22 times.
It might be all the parentheses.
Oh yeah, it says it plenty of times. My bad. Only 22 times. Koloimar loisvirli. No, it says, okay, Amar, it's fine. 20. I said it's never, so only 22 times. Great. And you thought I already did it. I checked it and I'm pretending to check it. No, 22. Fine. Busha, editor, take it out. I'm kidding. Leave it. It's geschmack. So, but Koloimar Shene Kodesh Atshiyeh it's not a lashon of Gemara or something. Bar Rabbi Yossi, a Masai Bizman Shein Daiti Lahaisif. Bizman Shein Daiti Lahaisif, Rishon, Kadosh. When do you need a full vessel all the way to the top of flour? When you don't have intent to fill it up. But let's say your bag ran out. Yeah? You had a half a bag of flour and it went up to here. So you went to the closet in the Beis Hamikdash to bring in more flour. So it's Kadosh. As you put in the first part, Kadosh. Second part, Kadosh. You don't have to wait to the second part. Why? Because you have intent to fill it up. Givaldim. Rishon Kadosh. As you put it in, it becomes Kadosh. V'rav b'chavitin kiman tzvirlei. Now remember, like just 7 lines up, Rav says that by a regular mincha, not by the mincha of the Kohen Gadol, by a regular mincha, Mr. Yisrael comes to the Beis Hamikdash with a half a pound of flour. They say, Rabbi Yid, it's not enough. You have to go home and bring more. So he goes home and brings more. Is that okay or not? Was it Kaddish, the first half that he put into the klishars? Does it become Kaddish or not? So Rav says no, not Kaddish. What does Rav hold when it comes to the Kohen Gadol? When the Kohen Gadol takes his chavitin and breaks it in half, he pours half the flour for the morning, and then he pours half the flour for the afternoon. Is that Kaddish or not? Is it the same thing as a regular mincha? Says the Gemara, who does he hold? Ikar Blazer, he holds that half and half is good. He just holds that by a regular mincha, it's not good. How come he doesn't hold that you learn a regular mincha from the Kohen Gadol's mincha, that half and half is good? If this is the third time I'm seeing this, maybe you'll say, I don't learn a regular mincha from the Kohen Gadol's mincha. I could take flour, put it into a vessel, and it becomes kaddish, even though I didn't add the oil yet, even though it needs oil. Because that's how I found by the breads. The breads in the lechem apanim bread in the heichal, they don't have oil. What about b'lei levayna, without the frankincense? It would come kaddish without the frankincense. Why? Because that's what I see by a carbon that you have to bring a mincha with the carbon. It works. B'lei shemen or b'lei levayna. What if it doesn't have oil and frankincense, just has flour? It also becomes kaddish. I just want to pause here for a second. There's a story. A shadchan calls up a guy, says, listen, I have the best guy for your daughter. Top guy in yeshiva, the best. She says, oh, very nice, thank you. So let me look into him. Calls him back a day later. He says, listen, I found out he's really, really short. So he says, no, short. Ramosha Feinstein was also short. Doesn't mean that he's not a good guy. He's a great guy. Okay, fine. So back. Yeah, but the family's like so poor that it's a joke how poor. It's crazy. Yeah, I heard about poor, but this is like, no, so what? Rav Shach is also came from a very poor. Calls him back the next day. He says, yeah, but he has a hunchback. Listen, you know how many Gedolim had hunchbacks? It's not. Calls him back the fourth day. He says, I heard this guy's like the worst learner in the world. He's like, I'm a aretz. He says, no, for that you're going to break a shadduch. What about without levina? No, levina is not. What about without shemen? I just thought, whatever you're going to throw at the guy, he's going to say no. We have a reason why it works. Akoponim. You see that Rav does learn one thing from the other. So if Rav would learn one from the other, and he holds by a Kohen Gadol's mincha that you could split it in half, so you should hold the same thing by regular mincha. You can split it in half. You can bring it 2 different times. How come Rav says that by regular mincha you can't break it up into 2? Obviously, Rav obviously holds that you cannot break it into half when it comes to Kohen Gadol, and so too you can't break it in half by a regular mincha. Gufa, Omer Rav, mincha kedusha b'lei shemen. We just said. I'm telling you, it's easy stuff here, not like these complicated svaras or whatever. Cool stuff. Rav says that a mincha becomes kaddish. You put the flour into a vessel, even without oil, it becomes kaddish. Kedusha b'lei shemen. We found this by lechem apanim. B'lei levayna, even without the frankincense, b'lei shemen, b'lei levayna. We just read it. I'm reading it fast. We found this by the sinner's mincha. He doesn't bring levayna, he doesn't bring shemen, and it becomes kaddish. V'shemen levayna kachi hai b'lei hai, by b'lei hai. Shemen ulevayna, the oil, just the oil itself becomes kaddish without levayna, and the levayna becomes kaddish without the oil. Each one becomes kaddish by itself. Shemen shkemetzinu b'loig. Where do you need oil? That it should become. Where do you see that becomes kaddish by itself? We find it b'loig shemen shel mitzayra. We know that the mitzayra, one of the processes of when it becomes a tar, you take the blood from Nashim, you put on his finger, on his thumb, then you put on toe. So too with oil. Toe, thumb, you put the rest on his head, the whole thing. On his ear. You find that levayna becomes kaddish by itself on the lechem apanim. Ask Rashi, but over there there's bread. Okay, but the main thing is in the bezichin. Reb Chanina Amar, Daf Ches Amud Beis, Lo yizug dash beluzo, v'lo yizug dash beluzo. No. The only way a mincha becomes kaddish, listen to this. You need all 3 ingredients. When you have 3 ingredients, you need all 3 ingredients together to become kaddish. You need to pour the oil, the flour, and the levayna all into one bucket, into one bowl. Then you can make it kaddish. If you just put the flour by itself, it doesn't become kaddish. Just the oil by itself doesn't become kaddish. Now, why in the world do you need a special vessel called isarin to be holy? If this vessel of isarin doesn't create gedusha for the flour on its own, because you need the oil and you need the levayna in order to make it kaddish, so then why does the isarin vessel that measures flour, why does it have to have any gedusha at all? You hear the question? I don't know what this is. I'm going to look with you. Oh, 1/8 is 10 isarin. What? What'd you say? Asir Seifa. Isarin, right. Isarin is the lashon of a tenth. Okay, not this. This, okay, but if we just look at this guy, the little Isarin guy, has Kedusha. In other words, Moshe Rabbeinu came with oil, anointed this Kli. He took a simple Kli, and he poured special oil that he had, and he made this vessel Kaddish. That what? Every time you put something in it, it creates Kedusha to that thing. But for what purpose? What flour needs to be Kaddish? Flour by itself cannot have Kedusha, according to Reb Chanina. According to the other shittas we saw, yes, it has Kedusha by itself. But according to Reb Chanina, you need to add the oil, you need to add the levina. Then you can make. You're not adding the levina and the oil into that isarin. The isarin is just one tight measurement of flour. Says Gemara, the simple answer. And we're just going to skip the parentheses. Yeah, there is one mincha for the sinner that has zero oil, zero levina. All it has is flour, and that needs Kedusha. So that's why that Kli has Kedusha. And why does the vessel, that golden vessel that holds, it also measures a lug of shemen? Why does it need Kedusha? If, according to Reb Chanina, you have to add the shemen together with the flour, because there is one case of mitzari that needs oil without anything else, and that needs to be kaddish. So now we have a chiddush from Shmuel that, for whatever reason, it's just interesting how he's very talented, our Shmuel guy in the AI department. He made a whole video on this sugya. So we'll see the sugya and then you'll understand the video. Shmuel says, he also agrees with Rav, this nan, kli alach mikachim salach. When you have a vessel, a measuring cup that's designed for liquids, so any liquid that goes into it becomes kaddish. What liquids do we have in the base of English? We have oil, we have wine, and we have water. So those things become kaddish. And any measuring device that's designed specifically with demarcations, let's say, of dry, because we have liters and ounces and milliliters. We have certain things that are designed for liquid, and we have, what do we have we have pounds, and what else do we have? Grams. Certain things that are more for salads. Yeah, I think we have the same thing in our days as well, right? We would have different measurements for liquids and for salads. So you would have special measuring devices in the Beis HaMikdash for liquids and special measuring devices for salads. Now the question is, what if you decided to measure solids like flour in a measuring cup that was specifically for liquids? Does it work? Does it give it Kedusha? So he says no. No. If it's designed for liquids, it cannot give any Kedusha to dry goods. And a measuring device for the dry goods cannot give any Kedusha to the liquids. Here comes Shmuel. This is only for liquids. In the Beis HaMikdash, when they received the blood out of the animal's neck, they would take it in a mizrak, which is a cone-shaped device, which was designed that you cannot put it down. Since the bottom is pointy, you can't put it down. If you put it down, it would spill. They didn't want the kohanim to put it down. They didn't want it to rest. They didn't want the blood to congeal. So he says that kli, which is actually a kli, it's a vessel that contains usually blood, which is liquid. Now, if you put some flour in it, it would become kaddish. Brings the pasuk. What do you bring me a raya? But a mincha is actually considered liquid. Why? I don't know how you would view it. What do you view dough? Is dough a liquid or a solid? Most of you say salad. What? No, right. So it could be that in the Beis HaMikdash there's so much oil because they put three oils on the bottom, on the top, and then afterwards they mixed again. So maybe it's more of a liquid, but the Gemara understands it's a liquid. That in fact, in the mincha, even if you're going to mix it up, you don't have great mixing devices, you're mixing it by hand, so you're always going to have like a lump of flour somewhere, that didn't get that liquid in there. And that didn't become, what do you tell me? That the dough is liquid, and if it's liquid, you could put it into a liquid measuring device and it should give it Kedusha. But guess what? In every mincha, there's lumps here and there, and they don't have to be very large lumps, very small lumps. 10, how do you say gargir in English? 10 grains of flour. Who said that? You? You're shtickle Israeli, you, huh? So 10 grains, whatever, small little lump, but it doesn't have the liquid in it, so that wouldn't give it, so it wouldn't become kaddish because it's in a liquid measuring device. Shalom aleichem, kim tzaran. Well, you didn't just show up now, you were here the whole time, no?
Yeah, of course.
Well, you left and you came back?
No, we just got off the plane.
I don't get it.
Yeah, we just got off the plane.
Okay. Maybe you look like somebody else that was here yesterday. I thought, what I thought you were? I thought you're Daniel, what's his name's son, but you're not. Wow, he looks like, oh my gosh. I'll take a picture and I'll show you. Daniel Benedict's son. That's a Shalom Aleichem. Batesh, have a seat. We're almost done. 5 more minutes. 1 minute. Do we have a minyan? That's the question. How you doing? Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem. Great. So, you came just in time for the video. So he says like this. First of all, you cannot view this mincha that has a lot of water in it, it's very liquidy, as liquid, because there's parts of it that are not liquid. Second of all, at the end of the day, and this you'll see all the way at the end of the video, blood in a slurping machine. Oh, you have to do the sponsors, he's telling me. See you're able to see behind the scenes. So blood is very liquidy, and dough is not liquidy as blood. So yes, it might be, you could consider it a liquid, but it's not liquid when you compare it to blood. The boys say, if you want to see the video, you have to go over there. What is this? He's showing me that he's on the way. Shkoyach. This is what because I accused him of going to the airport for no reason, just to do chesed. Fine. Here's the video. I should do the sponsors first. I'll do the sponsors first. Turn to the daf. Sponsored. Wow, there's a brand new one. Isaac Castell. In honor of all the MDY daffers in South Florida, we all should be matzliach beruchnis of Gashmias. Amen. Anonymous, in memory of Ramosha ben Peretz, first yahrzeit, Chov Zayin Shvat. Okay, here we go. Here's the video.
In the Mishnah we learned the Choik and Seder. Every Kli works only in its gay deader. A Kli halach, it mikadosh the liquids and meat, a sayevish for souls and the like. One vessel won't make kaddish the other. The kelim are distinct from one another. But Shmuel came and taught us a chidush, an exception in the matter of kiddush. The mazruk is the key, it's a liquid vessel, but it make kaddish the dry, that's the rule, it settles. The pasuk says it's clear, souls fills them both, making them kodesh as the Torah spoke. Rabacha, ask with the wonder so great, how can the souls have a dry item state? The Menachos, bilula mixed with the oil, it's moist and it's wet, so the proof must recall. Ravina yansaradam daradam dara. The clever thought, the soul is dry before the oil is brought, or compared to the blood, it's dry as can be. That's the Azruk logic, as you can see. But Shmuel came and taught us a chidush, an exception in the matter of kiddush. The Mazruk is the key, it's a liquid vessel, but it makadosh the dry, that's the rule, it settles. The pasuk says it's clear, so it fills them both, making them kodesh as the Torah spoke.
Rabbi Isai, have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDAF.com.